individually, it also comes to my mind that, I might call myself Mokoban, but I could be Mutubats. What am I doing right now as culture Mokoban? How does it affect, or what impact does it have where I am not using the culture Mutubats or whatever the saying that might be? I'm just making an example. But I'm just saying, in closing, right now we need to also have that different perspective. We must take note and acknowledge the fact that most of us are growing up and we have to fend for ourselves to be men, but there is no example that we can follow. The issue of mentorship is very critical and is very important, so that when you have men around you that are going to have a positive impact in your life, then it automatically makes you a better person compared to Makrotmana or this expert. I'm one of them, unfortunately.
No, thank you very much, Shimi. I'm going to take one last comment before we move into the next conversation.
Thank you so much. This is Siandi Delata from Everton. What the young man said there, it's very profound. And what Morabe said is very profound, that other people are being raised by social media. I will go back and speak for my generation, the 80s generation. When Bontate Rantwa, Bontate Jerry in the 50s generation, 40s generation, apartheid Basotla, they could not pass the baton very well to the 70s and the 60s generation. That is where we are lingering and saying we can't have the late 70s, the early 80s to raise children that cannot go into social media, because Rona, we have a broken baton. That's where it's at. Rona, the middle generation, we have a broken baton. That is why you'd find these kids today, Batsuba Nyaobe, Kuba ni nakilentate, kinal 40, Mwanaka ki khonomofa staff se sharp. Kito kukela ndatwa nwakwakwa. Ndatwa ka ona sharp amagriza blind. Until such a day, ke last born otlale. Until such a day, mid-90s, ke tshwara lebanta ka letsoho. Then he stopped. But there's no conversation. Then how so is no conversation with the person who gave birth to you? How do you pass a proper education to your children, a boy child? You won't, unless we come to these forums. And when you see these forums, sometimes di Jozi o ploma evato. Hauna 10 rand ya opalama taxi ya Jozi. So we'll go back and say, government ya rona le rona, we failed when we look at the infrastructure irobe. When we looked at the society irobe, we stood and said, ngasi ha makhelwane, ngasi shopping wana makhelwane ka mpama because o tlo ntshwarisa. But rona ne re hola o suna ngwana na strateng, ntate je rona khona o betsa ka face. Ha o fitla ka tlung tatwa wa o betsa ka face, so ha ona hore motho a moholo aka o shapa ho sena ntwe rong o yentseng. So I think there's somewhere where it's broken. If we could try and fix, this forum, if we could just fix and target a certain age before we come here, ma 2000, because ma 2000 era. It's like they came with a lot of, they want to change everything, and they are capable because we don't have the map. We don't have it. I don't know my 80s, I think I'm my late 70s, I think we don't have the map. We are clueless ourselves. Why? Because Mataima withdrew and never gave us the right thing. Ketot aman intonya mento, ma hot manarona still withdrew. We chebilali one or I ke mnati mrabe kwani kwanta te mrabe ke chebile ke diwa ke Broma River ke sharp. Ndwana ka jana sokola evaton o sharp o tla nna ipona. We have that now mentality in the society to say, yes, can I sibling marai? Come on, like cousin. But Billy, uno tseba hore re hang khono kaofela ke di holiday Boss nang dijo ha bo bona ka di-holiday ha o bonahale. Why? Re ha nkgono kaofela, re ja papa ka dikgadika kaofela. But today it's very visible. So if we could fix that broken structure, I think we could go somewhere.
Thank you very much. I think that rounds off the conversation.
Could I just have just a quick reply to that? It's very much the case that we're going to have panels where us, our fathers, and everyone is going to have to learn at the same time. Because to say that, we must fix here before we fix here, time goes on. I'm 22. In 10 years from now, I'll probably have a child. So the question then becomes, there are people my age who already have children. So there is this thing where, as much as we need to fix this thing, you're right, we need to fix this thing now. Because the generations that follow, they are the ones handing over this broken baton as well to their children. So we need to have this multi-generational connection if we want to make this work.
Well said, well said. At this point, we were about to move to just elevate the conversation and maybe start to address. I think we've adequately identified the problem.